That is a red flag, and you can see the damage that has been done there as Alex Albon hits the barriers and moving in the cockpit, which is always the first thought, and good to see.
It's it!
Albon is all over the back of Hamilton, who once again forces in the long way round. Norris goes the long way round on Perez.
No,
and Albon again, no, with Lewis Hamilton. He's lost out once more.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
Welcome to Season 2 of our Red Bull Motorsport Manager series. Now, big changes. I'll explain them all in just a second, but to explain it, I'm going to have to spoil Season 1. So if you haven't seen it and you're interested in watching it, I recommend clicking off this video, watch all 23 episodes, or I could just tell you what happened in 3, 2, 1. Perez did win the championship last season. We prioritized him over Max Verstappen after his slow start to the season. Max Verstappen wasn't happy with that and he headed to a new team, which will be revealed in just a second. But Perez did a Nico Rosberg and retired after his first championship. He was getting up there and he thought he'd go out on a high, so fair play to him. And I thought this is the perfect opportunity to get a bit of redemption, hence the title of this sort of intro there. I hope you enjoyed that intro. It took a little bit of a while to put together, so if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. But yeah, Pierre Gasly and Alexander Albon both had stints in the Red Bull. Both were just about as successful as each other, which was not very, but we're going to give them a bit of a redemption arc here and bring them back for the second season. Okay, so we're going to go through each team very quickly here and announce the driver lineups. So Alfa Romeo have got Mick Schumacher from Haas, who obviously got relegated last season, and Guan Yu keeps his spot on the team. So a bit of a change there with just Mick Schumacher, but no new faces in Formula 1. AlphaTauri have kept Yuki Tsunoda and called up Robert Schwartzman. Kvyat's just there to make up the numbers, but it'll be interesting to see how Schwartzman goes in Formula 1. Fernando Alonso has retired, so Alpine have called up the reserve driver Oscar Piastri, and Esteban Ocon remains in the team. Aston Martin are going with an unchanged lineup with Vettel, Stroll and Hülkenberg. Now this is where he went. Verstappen and Leclerc will make up the lineup for Ferrari. Here they will both be hoping for a very competitive car. Where are they right now on the cars? Third best on grid. Now, new boys on the block have signed Daniel Ricciardo and have kept up Vips from last season. So they signed a bit of experience. Their car's probably not going to be there. Obviously, they're worst on grid. So it'll be interesting to see if Daniel Ricciardo can make something out of that car and get him at least some points. So with Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren leaves us with Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. They are reunited. Obviously, they're good mates off the track. So to be on the same team again, I'm sure they'll love it. How competitive is that McLaren? Fourth best on grid. So Mercedes, unchanged lineup with Hamilton and Russell. Hamilton decided to give it another year. Obviously, when you're 38, the thoughts of retirements cross your mind, but Hamilton was close last year, and if they can get a good car under him, I reckon he can make a real run at it. Now, Williams, Theo Pourchaire and Liam Lawson, I probably butchered Theo's name, but they have a very young driver lineup, very young but talented driver lineup. I don't know what kind of car they have underneath them. 8th best, better than Alfa Romeo and High Tech. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how Theo and Liam go. Alright, so car reveal. Now Red Bull never change the livery from season to season, so I thought I'd change that. I've brought the white Red Bull back. It was fun for, I think it was the Turkish Grand Prix. Let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. I can always change it back. But yeah, I think it'll be good just to roll with something a little bit fresh for this season. New drivers, not completely new, but you know, no Verstappen, who's been the face of Red Bull for so many years, he's gone. So let's change up the car a bit, start a new chapter. Alright, so straight into preparation for the Sakhir Grand Prix. Now, first race of the season, we're just going to work on the reliability of the engine and the performance of both our engines. So reliability up performance, and we're also going to build a new brake set because that's the part where the little average thing's the closest to us. So we built new brakes. It's a much better brake, like 40 performance points better. We also improve the brake set, and we're going to build a second set of brakes. So it's going to have equal performance and 100% reliability, so we can put them both on the cars for the next race, hopefully. But yeah, that's pretty much all for the first race. All right, first qualifying of the season. Now, straight off the bat, Gasly is going to be our #1 driver to start, just because amongst the top 3 teams, we already have like the worst drivers out of the mix. They're still good drivers, but Gasly is significantly better than Albon by half a star. So we're going to try and mitigate that drop in driver skill with just piling on all the good pass to Gasly and hope that gets over the line. But here we will not be on pole. It will be the Ferraris getting a 1-2. Verstappen gets the pole. Alright, first race of the season. It's going to be in Sakhir. Obviously no rain, but may as well check anyway. We are racing in a desert. Now, race trim, I guess we'll go soft tyres.
We haven't
Light footed with our mechanics yet, which is a bit disappointing to start, but I'm sure as we develop the car, we'll develop the car and develop the mechanic relationship. We'll be able to win many races this season, I'm hoping, but not a good start to qualifying, 3rd and 6th, but plenty of work to do in the race. Max Verstappen, Charles, Gasly, Norris, Hamilton, Albon, and Russell in 7th. So it's going to be quite a competitive season, I think, by the looks of it. But here we go, Gasly in 3rd. Hopefully, he can get a really good start and jump the Ferraris. That would be perfect. But it's going to be a bit blurry, and it's a really slow start from everyone there, apart from Albon. He looks like he got a good start, but it seems like everyone had a bit of a delayed reaction. I don't know if it was just me, but Albon straight up overtakes Gasly. We're right on board Albon, who's on a bit of a tear here. And I got to say, that Red Bull does look nice. It looks a bit weird up close with the Martini sponsor. Some of the sponsors don't do too nice with certain colours, but I think that looks very good on track. That is a nice looking car. The Red Bull in the white livery is very nice. But Albon up in a second. Back to actual racing things. And he split the Ferraris. Verstappen down in 3rd. Gasly's close behind him by about 0.2 seconds. So hopefully we can keep that pressure on him. We're going to go pretty hard on this first tyre here. Obviously we're on the harder compounds, so we should do well over the first pit stops because we won't need to stop. We will be able to pull off the 1 stop today, yes, quite easily, so that is awesome. So let's get this race going a little bit here. This episode's kind of long at the moment, as the first episodes always are. We're going to switch to neutral now, and I don't know how good this car is on fuel efficiency because I didn't really focus on that over the off season. But Verstappen in his new Ferrari, I mean, Verstappen in Ferrari, who would have thought that this would happen? I know I certainly didn't, but hey, he wasn't happy with us. He wanted to move. Leclerc's right now leading the race. He's a bit more accustomed to the Ferrari, I suppose. But yeah, quite an interesting start to this Grand Prix. Alright, so we're going to look to bring in Albon now, who's now leading this race after the first pit stops. And believe it or not, Oscar Piastri's taken up the last podium spot. He is on mediums. He's gone most of the race on, well, yeah, the whole race on them so far. I don't know if we've got to finish on that tyre. Obviously, it's illegal in real F1 to not pit stop, as Alex Albon learnt in Australia. Well, he didn't learn of it, but he had to pit on the last lap. But he still managed to pick up a point, which is quite extraordinary from Williams. But yeah, we'll see if Piastri can pull off something similar. I don't think so. Did I change tyres with Gasly? I do not want to mess up points. I think I did. Let's just double check with Albon as well. I just don't know. It would suck to lose this 1-2 just by a bad pit mistake by me. But Alexander Albon, it's quite a long lap here, like insanely long. Probably one of the longest on the calendar, but we're going to double stack. I didn't mean to double stack there. But that's fine. We got a bit of a gap. Piastri hopefully will hold up the Ferrari of Verstappen, who's overtaken his teammate. Oh no, they're battling it out now, which is awesome. Exactly what I want to say. Let's switch on to Piastri to see how that battle behind him's going. They're still going at it, the Ferraris. Let's chuck this in normal for a minute. And they got Russell as well, sticking his beak in the action. But Hamilton down in 12th. He is not having a fun time down there. And it's quite a competitive grid, because Theo's up in 8th as well. The high-tech. It's all the medium tyres. All the medium runners are getting in the way a little bit. So Hamilton really struggling. He's behind Guan Yu right now. Vips and Ricciardo 13th, 14th. Yuki at the back of the grid. Schwartzman as well. Not good to see our AlphaTauri Conrads down there, but hopefully they can improve. Yeah, I mean, Piastri... Oh, Russell split the Ferraris now while I'm looking down the grid. I gotta say, this is quite a fascinating grid with Verstappen and Leclerc teaming up. But right now they're struggling to get onto the podium as Piastri is still in front. Yeah, interesting. Alright, final lap here. Alexander Albon still leading this race. What an amazing drive from him today. He had an awesome start and just didn't look back. Seriously, he even started overtaking Ferraris before they pitted. So what a drive from him. He's made a real statement today. It made me rethink my Gasly #1 driver decision at the start of the season. But yeah, it's going to be a good battle. Hamilton down in 10th. That I don't know what's wrong with him. It's sort of more like this season in real life. Russell up in 4th. He was on the podium for a little bit, but Leclerc's taken it back. He's on the mediums, so maybe he can push a little harder. Up and down in 6th, struggling in that Ferrari. But we've missed it. But Alexander Albon wins the Sakhir GP, and it's redemption already for him. He's won a race in the Red Bull. First time of asking. Gasly put in a good shift to get 2nd as well. And what a way to start this season. Alexander Albon, what a drive. Pierre Gasly in 2nd. It's almost a maximum points for us this weekend. Verstappen got the fastest lap from 6th, which was a bit disappointing, but I mean, it's only 1 point. We'll take the rest of them. Thank you very much. Charles will round off the podium, and we get the first punch in on the other 2 teams. To be honest, I thought, like I did, was not expecting to win the first race, but now that I think about it, this track suited our car to the ground. Engine and brakes being crucial parts, we have the best in that by quite some margin, I believe. So we'll see what happens to that season, but if we're still winning every race, we can turn up the difficulty. It's fine. But yeah, very happy with that result. Alright, so that is how the standings look at the end of race 1. Next up we do have the Jeddah GP, so make sure to catch that one in episode 2. I apologize for when the robot starts talking in the video. That means I've peaked my microphone and it just sounds horrible. I'll try and sort that out for next episode, but yeah, all I can do is apologize for that one. But yeah, so an awesome first race for us. We take the lead of the championship. Albon's top, Gasly 2nd. Not how I expected to start, but I'm happy to start like that. Like I said, we'll up the difficulty if it gets too easy. We haven't even got light footed yet, so that's probably something we'll do. But yeah, it could have just been a fluke race. We'll see how we go in Jeddah. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And leave any thoughts, feedback, suggestions in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time out. Thank you for watching.